Today I just wanted to talk about one of my old favourite games, horror. You definitely will remember it, Silent Hill 2. I just want to talk about this. I want to say one thing about this. Many people talk about what they loved about the game and stuff, and I will say that, but at the same time I just want to say this game was probably one of the few that actually affected me emotionally to a stupid point. And I'll get that out of the way now. I remember when this was my first Silent Hill, so this is the first time I got to the real gritty horror of a series, and I was not expecting it. Now, the first time I played it was on a little demo disc that you get with the little PS3 magazines, and when I played that on the magazine, I thought, that's quite a creepy little thing. It was in the apartment area, the first level. And I thought, well, that is quite creepy. What I didn't know is that it gets worse from there. And I played it, but I remember I first started using eBay, and that was the first thing I bought. And I bought it off eBay. Same packaging as this. I'll tell you why. And shit, I got into it in 3 hours. I was well and truly getting past the apartment, but shit, all of a sudden the sun wasn't there. I had a week off, so fine, that's good, but the sun wasn't there, everything seemed grey. I just kept playing this game. I had to switch it off every now and then just so I wouldn't stab a knife in my face, because it was so damn depressing. And not just that, but the atmosphere destroyed my senses. I mean, it was my first Silent Hill game. You can imagine what that's like. It is one of the best Silent Hills. Many people will tell you that. I can say that as well. But here's the embarrassing part. After a while I was completing it, I was having nightmares every night about this game. I couldn't sleep. I'd turn the light off and I'd have to put the light back on because I literally could not sleep while I was playing this game. Then when I completed it, I felt a bit better. I was like, okay, it's like lifting a curse. It's like, okay, it's gone. It's gone. I finally destroyed the evil, and it's gone. But I still had nightmares. And that's not the worst part. Here's the most embarrassing part. You're gonna think, oh god. After I completed it, I sold it. Not because I didn't have fun with it, but because I felt, it's hard to say, I felt it was the only way to get rid of my nightmares. Yeah, weird. But at the time, it seemed like the sensible thing to do. I'd completed it, got my fill, way, scared the crap out of me, get out. And then I found myself wanting to play it again. So, after about, after playing a few of the other Silent Hills, I went back and purchased this one. But the good thing is, I made a profit, that's what counts. But, wow, I've never had a game, very few games actually, affect me as much as this one. Had it been another Silent Hill, I don't know what the effect would have been. But yeah. Brilliant game. Now I want to talk about it. I think the real reason I love this game is because it wasn't, at the time, it was one of those, not as well known as Resident Evil. It was still quite well known, don't get me wrong, but it didn't have a film made after it, or all these different, headliners. It wasn't in the news, it wasn't a front page thing. It was always like a cult favourite. And when I had no reason to do so. The only reason I bought it was on the demo. The demo was fun and creepy. And I bought it not knowing that, and wow, what an introduction. And it wasn't just the different. I mean, I thought it was going to be another sort of Resident Evil thing, but no, it was a lot more darker. The atmosphere was something you'd never get. You'd always get music in Resident Evil. The only music you do get in Silent Hill, when it's actually music playing, is like rustling grass and clanging metal, and it's just creepy as hell. And I was like, what the hell is this, And I love it. I absolutely love it. The enemies of Silent Hill really were disturbing. I just they it was like playing Jacob's Ladder. They had erratic movements and moved jerkily, and the hospital. Here's one thing about Silent Hill games. I always fear playing a Silent Hill game, starting from the front, but after I get past the hospital bit, it's all clear sailing. I'm fine. Once I get past the hospital, everything else is a breeze, because the hospitals are some of the most nerve-wracking levels. Even when in number 3, it was just the complete same as 2 in level design, but it still felt alien and creepy as hell. I think it's because you had so many rooms to check, and the hallways were always, they managed to hide stuff just well enough to make you fear everything. So it could be around a corner, and the corner's got loads of shadow, or there's so many doors, and you know that even loads of those doors are going to be nurses in really tight spaces that you can't do anything. But praise all being the music. Like I said, it's usually SFX, like grass rustling or something, or no music at all when they don't have music. And when they do have music, it's really mellow, melancholy guitar riffs, One of the monsters that really creeped the fuck out of me was the Big Daddy monster. Pyramid Head. Everyone says, oh, Pyramid Head's, he's like the cool. He's cool. I liked him. It was cool to see him coming to get you every couple of levels. He was a recurring villain, like a nemesis. Albeit Nemesis also had a bit of a rape fetish, didn't he? With tentacles, I don't know, Japan. But yeah, the Big Daddy monsters just freak me out, because the thing about Silent Hill monsters, the thing about all monsters actually in film, books, everywhere, is that the reason they're scary is because they have a body horror, human-esque to them. Like they have a human figure, or like you never get too scared over, say, a wolf, but you add a werewolf quality which has human physicalness to it, and all of a sudden it's creepy as hell. Vampires, they're almost too human. They're not too creepy nowadays, but you know what I mean. Like the reason that's it's not because it's like a sludge thing. If it was just like that spider all the time, or just a big sludge, that's creepy. But because it has human parts to it, that is what freaks people out. And Silent Hill was all about that. It was all about symbolism. It had the lame monster that had a straight jacket monster that had legs but just a weird body shape. It had, like I said, the Big Daddy. Funnily enough, the least threatening one was Pyramid Head. In presence, in just looking at them, he was the least scary looking, but also the most what the fuck one, because you didn't kill him. I think the most creepy part about when I first saw Pyramid Head was in the apartment building when you face him in a boss battle. You don't kill him, you just keep shooting, you have to wait, and then all of a sudden you get that really creepy siren buzzing off, and he starts really fast moving and walks down into the water, and I just thought, that is creepy as hell. He just goes off and walks down to the water. What the hell does a siren mean? What's going on? You still at that point don't know what the hell's going on. And on my first playthrough, I could have shat myself. I did not know what was coming next. There'll be points where they hide under cars. The monsters would hide under cars and jump out at you, and oh, that was a really tough week. But the reason it lasted me a while was because I love those sort of survival horror games where you have to, remember Resident Evil 2 with the absurd amount of keys for every single door. The thing with Silent Hill was its puzzles were like really sickening Saw-esque logic. It was like you must take the piece of hair and put it down the sink, connect a little hook to it, put it down the sink to get out the key. And I kept expecting something really creepy to happen. you have to unlock 3 locks in one part of the hospital to open a box. So you have to go 3 different separate missions to open a box, and inside the box is a piece of hair. Okay, creepy. But yeah, they all have this kind of symbolic, cryptic-esque puzzle to them, and that's another thing that creeped me out. Well, they would get really creative with their puzzles, you know. You would get, like I just said, like the whole hair thing. You could attach. You'd spend ages trying to combine different items to each other to see if they have an effect. And you wouldn't know. You wouldn't always know. Like in one part, you get a wax doll. You didn't know you had to use a lighter to burn it and then melt it to open a grate with a horseshoe. Okay, cool. Alright, don't ask me how long it took me to figure that out. Maybe I'm just not that great, you know. At least with Resident Evil 2, you knew where you stood. A key goes in the door, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, actually no, there's a monster that creeped me out more than the Big Daddy. And it was a monster that, you know, you didn't see it that much at all. In fact, it's only in one section, funnily enough. There's a boss, apparently. You get locked in near the end of the hospital, well, in the middle of the hospital, just while it's the real hospital and not the other world hospital. You get locked in a room by that little dipshit Laura. And all of a sudden, these things come down from the ceiling. They're like medieval body cages with what slightly resembles humans. Well, these chunks of meat with lips and arms and legs that are coming out, and they're just swinging along the top of the room, like, you know, like really scary marionette dolls, slowly coming towards you, and then they strangle you with their legs. And I think that is one of the scariest parts of the game for me, because it was just such a mindfuck. I just didn't understand what the hell they were, or what the shit. It still gives me shivers, because, you know, I'm a pussy. And yeah. And then after that, it goes to the other world, and I was quite creeped out by that. But like I said, this is a really good game. I'm not gonna say if you haven't tried this, because everyone by this point has tried Silent Hill 2. You either like it or you don't. Some people really hate the whole clunky controls thing. I didn't mind it, to be honest. My enemies were on normal. I never played hard. I tried playing hard once, and the enemies get even creepier. They start moving much more faster. You can't kill one. One becomes a task to kill. I can't do it. I can only play normal. Yeah, I'm a pussy. But I did beat Ninja Gaiden Sigma on hard. But yeah, great game, great memories, good game.